Welcome to Perception versus Reality Sports and Culture. Please enjoy this PVR interview, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Now the season's over. You had a great season. You made all team first swag. You're on everybody's radar now. Go through briefly your process of last game of the season, pro days, any all-star games you played in, any workouts you had with teams, and any scouts you talked to. Tell us about that part of the process, because none of us have it. A lot of us haven't experienced that.
The process right after was so crazy because I left after my junior year. I didn't play my senior year.
Okay.
So I had to decide. So I sat down and I talked with my mom. So my mom, she loves that I love football, so she supports it.
Yeah.
So when I told her, I talked to her about going to the NFL, her thing was, are you going back to finish school?
Yeah.
So she was like, because if you can't promise me you're going back to finish school, you're not going to the NFL right now. Yeah. So that was her whole thing, like that degree. I promised I would go back and finish, so I decided to, test the waters. So the process, and then once I declared,
yeah,
that's when the whirlwind started. Like, oh, now I got 7 million agents calling me and all of this. So what I did, I signed with Bardia Gahanami, which is one of my old teammates, Charles Ali. It was his agent as well.
Okay.
So the next step, I'll go off the train. He fly me to, I'm training in Tampa. In Tampa, still hard-head kid, not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'd rather go to the beach than go work out. One day he called me and he says, you got a flight going to Arizona. So I'm thinking I'm going to work out for the Cardinals. No, I go to the middle of the desert. So, and that's where I'm training at now.
Oh, wow.
So this was a whole different atmosphere for me. Like, it's nothing to do but train.
Yeah.
But it was probably one of the best things that happened to me because it made me have to focus. It got me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I did that until I played in a Black College All-Star game. Had a real good game. I was the MVP of that game as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And after that, I knew I needed to get stronger. So I go back to UAPB and train with Coach Latham.
Okay.
He was the track coach, big guy.
Yes.
Yeah. He's assistant AD at Howard right now. That's my guy. Still my guy. Just talked to him yesterday. And I go from 166 pounds. My last game I played, I was 166. And in a month, I went from 166 to 187. Just working out. He made me get up every morning. Like, every morning, you need to meet me here. If I'm getting up at this time, you got to be dedicated. So now I'm into the routine of this and that, getting up, working out, making sure I do what I'm supposed to do. And after that, I gained some weight. So now teams come in to see me and they're like, oh, okay. Now you're looking like something. You're not like a little stick man. So I go to Green Bay, I go to Baltimore, I go to Arizona, I go to San Francisco, I go to I went to the Rams, Chicago, like working out for all these teams leading up to the draft. And draft day come, I'm waiting, I end up, not getting drafted. But right after the draft, so I was a priority free agent, so I had a draft grade, but I just didn't get drafted. And I could have went to Buffalo. Well, I did go to Buffalo, but I had the Ravens, I had Philadelphia, Tampa, and I ended up doing some research and I picked the Bills.
Yeah.
And
because I saw the Giants was interested in you also. I read.
Yeah, the Giants. Yeah, I went to the Giants, worked out for them, and they liked me and all of that. But I picked the Bills. I looked at the roster. They didn't have any height, so I went, okay, I'm height. With the height and the speed, I want to go to the Bills to give me the best chance. Which I had a good year there. I didn't play much, but it was a good learning opportunity for me. And after that, a lot of people don't know I went to Green Bay as well. So I was in Green Bay 6 weeks. I got 6 weeks out of Green Bay before I went to BC Lions up in Victoria, Canada.
Okay.
And I played arena. Ended up playing arena 5 years instead of. Well, I know you said 2, but
Oh,
I
I
played
thought
arena.
so. So
5
you played
years.
5, and I was you know what's crazy, Jason? I was thinking it because I kind of briefly went through your Facebook page, and I was said it seemed like you played more than 3 years. But yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
ask you about that, but thanks for answering. So you played 5 years of arena football. Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
played 5 years, and it was a good ride. Just
Yeah,
it got to the point where I just missed my family.
yeah,
That was my thing. Like I missed my family, so I came home and relaxed. The first year, because after football I played so long, it took me a whole year to finally wake up and just not be hurt. Like a
exactly.
whole
Gotcha.
year of not doing anything.
That's
Like
crazy.
it just
For your body to fully recover from the
right,
football
right.
hits and all that. So you actually got a total of 7 years of professional football. So you played 7 years of
Yeah.
professional football after college. Now let me ask you something. I want to go back. I didn't know this, and this is interesting. I think a lot of our listeners are going to be interested in this also. So you, a guy at a D1 AA historical black college, decided to leave college early. You like, I don't want that last year. I'm gonna forego that last year, and I'm gonna go ahead and declare for the draft. What was the thought process behind that? Because that's very unusual. Even some of the best historical black college players like Tavares Jackson, who was drafted in the second round, and Tyron Armstead, who was drafted in the second round, Dante Wesley drafted in the fourth round, Greg West in the third round. Those guys stayed all 4 years, but you made the decision like, hey, I don't want to come back the third year. I want to go ahead and leave. Like, were you talking to agents? Did someone give you a grade or a rating letting you know like, hey, you could go as a draft pick or a free agent? Tell me about that.
Yeah, nowadays, like I hadn't talked to an agent or anything yet, but everything's on the internet. Like
Right.
anything you want to know, I mean, it's on the internet. So I researched it and looked it up, and scouts had been coming and talked to me. It was a scout coming to the school 2 or 3 times a week for me. So I'm like, okay, the buzz is around. I talked to a lot of people at the SWAC championship game, and then when I went to the Black College All-Star game, I like, after I got the MVP, they were just like, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? Like at the time, like I just didn't know. But one day I was like, I'm going to do it because like me, I wasn't a school guy. Like I made good grades and things
Yeah.
like that. I just didn't like school.
Okay.
Like that was like, I couldn't get with it. So that
Okay.
was another factor that just made me like, hey, just go ahead. You can always come back to school
Yeah.
and get your degree. So I decided to go, and I mean, it was a great decision.
Now,
Sometimes I wish I would
in hindsight,
have.
in hindsight, looking back on everything, if you had worked out the way you worked out when you was getting ready for the draft, put on the 20 pounds of muscle, with you still being a young guy, you're going to get faster with size and with strength. Do you feel like if you had gone back your senior year, tore it up even more, you had 13 touchdowns the year before, what if you come back and get 20 touchdowns and you get 1,000 yards receiving? Do you feel like your draft, you would have been drafted between the third and the sixth round or the seventh round? Do you ever kind of look back on that and say, man, I would have been drafted and I would have received a guaranteed 2 or 3 year contract? Do you ever think back and wonder that?
No, because it's hindsight 2020. Because my quarterback left,
Okay.
my whole offensive line left,
Okay.
my running back, Dedrick Poole, he made a lot of things easier because you couldn't double team me.
Okay. Okay.
And then you couldn't double team him because we had Mickey and Mallet in the backfield.
Exactly.
So only thing you had to play me 1-on-1. The next year coming back, we still had Mallet and Mickey, but we didn't have that one slot guy who made sure that I couldn't get double teamed. So I could say, yes, I would have got 20, but who's to say, okay, I don't get doubled, which I did get doubled a lot at the end of the season, but who's to say, they wouldn't double me the whole time. Like,
Got you.
I look at it both ways, you know, like, maybe, maybe not. I'm glad I did what I did.
Okay, got you. That makes sense. Good answer, Jason. Good answer. Last question. I know you got to get out of here. What are you doing today? I know as far as like, are you training high school, college football players? I know I attended a game here in Fort Worth with the Arkansas Rams, and I saw you on the sideline, so I figured you kind of help coach a little bit. So kind of tell the people what you're doing now to help the youth, to give them some of that knowledge you learned from college football, professional football, and all endeavors you've been through in life.
Okay, so this is crazy. So I coach, train basketball.
Okay. Okay.
Basketball was my favorite sport. So
Okay.
at the end when I went to UAPB, I could have played basketball as well, but they wasn't giving me a full scholarship. Football was. So for my mom not to have to pay anything, I just accepted the full ride football. But the stipulation was, if we give you this full ride, you can't play basketball.
Okay. Yeah,
you know,
they told me the same thing
to,
with football. I know you're not lying, because they said, hey, if we're giving you a full ride, so we don't want you playing baseball. They said if you play baseball, you need to go to Coach Bennett and have him to do a partial, and we'll do a partial. So I had that dilemma also. You know, people will say, who listen to this will say, well, Keontae played football and baseball, but Keontae didn't have a full ride in football initially. I think he eventually got one after his first year, but initially he didn't have a full ride. And even Garrett, I think that's his name, Garrett, our tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
Yeah, even he was on full ride. He was on partial baseball, partial football, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I was told. So it was one. So I agree with you, and I know that's fact, because they wouldn't let me do it. But go ahead.
So you know, once I got out of football, like, you know, you play football so long, you just tired of seeing it. Like, I just want to be away from it. You know, I'm tired of looking at film. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. And basketball was my favorite sport. So after I got done, I went back to school, and I got my degree in elementary education. So I really didn't want to teach it, because I'm not the type that I don't like routine.
Yeah.
So I moved to Dallas after I graduated. I graduated on the Saturday, and I moved that next Wednesday. I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I gave myself 3 months to figure out what I wanted to do. Okay. So I was going to see D. Jamel Jackson, Coach Jack. He used to coach at Pine Bluff. Okay. He was training in Dallas. As I was walking in to see him, their trainer was walking out. He had just quit. And D. Jamel, he says, Jay, you know how to do this, right? I was like, yeah. And then he was like, man, go down there and train him. And then that's how I got started training.
Okay. That's dope. And you've been doing that ever since?
I've been doing it ever since. I got a basketball program. You know, we doing really well. And when I was at the Arkansas Hawks game, I was out there supporting my guy Jermaine Anderson. Like, he's doing a real good job with those kids down there. You know, I'm always supporting anybody who's doing positive, especially positive toward kids.
Absolutely. Oh, so, and you still live in Dallas now, right?
Oh, yes, I live in Dallas. I've been here since 2013.
Okay, wow. Well, I'm here in Fort Worth, man. We have to meet up sometime, man.
Okay.
Get a drink or something like that. Yeah. I thought you were still in Arkansas. You know, I didn't know you had moved to Dallas. So with that being said, you're training now. You're training in basketball, not football, which a lot of people are going to say, wow, you know. But I've seen some of your clips. I know you can play basketball. People believe me. He's a true hooper. He could play with some of the best, you know. 6'1" guy, so he'll be a point guard if he went to the league, you know, Rondo size. So
Right.
So you're training kids, you got a program that's good. So what I want you to do now is I appreciate you for giving me this interview. I appreciate you for giving me 40 minutes of your time now. Man, that was a good story, because I didn't even know your background. I just assumed that, hey, you had been playing football since Pee Wee. You got highly recruited out of high school. You went to a D1 college and you transferred back to APB. I didn't know that football came and found you. And you being
Right.
who you are, said, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna turn this into gold. This not even my first love. Football was my first love. So I had the passion on football. From when I was 12 years old, I was imagining playing for UAPB or the University of Arkansas or UCA, But you just picked it up and said, "Hey, I'm doing this. I'm going to be great at it." That's amazing in itself, man. With that said, give out your basketball program and give out any contact information where people could reach you if they listen to this podcast.
I'm in the DFW area. My team name is the HEB Storm. We practice at the Grapevine Fieldhouse. If you have any type of questions, you can call me or text me at 682-438-5333. That's Jason Jones. I'm friendly, so you don't have to be scared to reach out. And I do train some, I train all sports, and anything you need, even if it's just something positive, just hit me up. And
what's your social media, Jason?
I'm still the same guy.
What's your social media?
Jason J83 on Snapchat. On Instagram, Jason J8383 on Snapchat.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, man, Jason. Thanks for taking the interview. Thanks for giving us a little of your background, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening to PVR Sports.
Thank you for listening to the PVR Sports Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch new episodes and PVR clips. Like our Facebook page and share with your friends if you enjoyed this podcast. As we say in the South, catch you later.